Recording 8. I need to start with the photograph because it's the reason I haven't slept properly in 3 days. It was in the typewriter room, the hidden room behind the bookshelf passage. I found it on my second visit, tucked into the back of the desk drawer beneath the map with the 4 numbered crescent locations. I missed it the first time because I was focused on the map and the rusted box, and then the mirror started showing me 2 states of the same room, and I left without finishing the drawer. The photograph is dated 1923, printed on the reverse in the same hand as the 1905 photograph. Same pen, same deliberate pressure, same capital numerals. The location is not noted, just the year. The front of the photograph shows the exterior of a building I don't recognize. Not 47 Marginal Road, a different structure, narrower, with a different roofline. Brick construction, 3 visible floors, a recessed entrance with stone steps. The street in front is unpaved, which is consistent with the period and the neighborhood type. There are no identifying signs or numbers visible on the building face. 4 people are standing in front of it. 3 of them are dressed in period clothing, heavy wool coats, hats with brims, the kind of formal street dress consistent with 1923. 2 of the 3 are men. One is a woman, shorter than the others, standing slightly forward with her hands at her sides. Their faces are clear enough to examine, but none of them are people I recognize. The 4th person is standing slightly apart from the group, turned at an angle toward the camera. The 4th person is me. I am wearing the same jacket I wear every time I come to 47 Marginal Road. The same jacket I'm wearing right now. The collar is the same, the chest pocket is the same, the cut is the same. It is not a jacket that could be mistaken for 1920s clothing. It is contemporary. It is mine. I've been staring at this photograph for 3 days, trying to find the explanation that doesn't require me to accept what I'm looking at. I checked the lighting first. The shadows on the 3 period figures fall to the left, which means the light source was to their right. My shadow in the photograph falls in the same direction at the same angle. Whoever placed me in this image, if it was placed, matched the lighting correctly. I checked the scale. My proportions relative to the building and the other figures are consistent. No distortion around my edges, no halo, no sign of a boundary between composited elements. The most reasonable alternative is fabrication, that someone took a photograph of me and inserted it into a period print with enough technical precision to pass visual inspection. The paper is aged consistently with the period. The tonal range is correct. If it's a fabrication, it required genuine period photographic materials, advanced technical skill, and a specific reason to target me. The other alternative is that the archive contains a record of me standing in front of a building in 1923. I don't know which explanation is worse. I've been going back and forth on that for 3 days, and I still don't have an answer. I went back to 47 Marginal Road last night with the photograph. I wanted to look at the mirror again. In recording 7, I documented that the mirror showed the room in a different state than the room actually occupied. The lamp steady in the reflection while it flickered in reality. I've been thinking about that as a calibration error of some kind, a distortion in the glass or a trick of the light. I wanted to test whether it would show me something different with the photograph present. I brought the photograph into the typewriter room and held it up to the mirror. The mirror showed me the photograph. That part is normal, a reflective surface showing an object held in front of it. What is not normal is that in the mirror's reflection, the photograph looked different. The 3 period-dressed figures were still present and in the same positions. The figure in the modern jacket was not there. The space where I appear in the physical photograph was occupied in the mirror's reflection by someone else, a figure in period clothing, standing in the same slight separation from the group, at the same angle toward the camera. I rotated the photograph. The mirror's reflection rotated with it. Same discrepancy from every angle. I moved the photograph closer to the glass and then further away. The reflected version remained consistent. 3 figures in period clothing plus a fourth in period clothing, all 4 in the same positions as the physical photograph's 3 figures, but the fourth is not me. I tried holding the photograph at arm's length and looking at it directly, then bringing it close to the mirror and watching the reflection. The transition was immediate. The moment the photograph entered the mirror's field, the reflected version substituted. The moment I pulled it back, the reflection showed whatever was behind it. I held the physical photograph and the mirror side by side at the same height and looked between them. In my left hand, 4 people, 1 in modern clothing. In my right hand, 4 people, none in modern clothing. The mirror is not showing me the photograph I'm holding. It's showing me a version of the same photograph in which I am not present. I stood with both objects for several minutes working through what that could mean. The mirror showed a different state of the room in recording 7, steady lamp versus flickering lamp. Now it's showing a different state of the photograph. In both cases, the mirror's version is the one in which something anomalous is absent. The flickering was the anomaly in that room. I am apparently the anomaly in the 1923 photograph. I don't have a framework for that conclusion yet. I'm just documenting it. The device, I've been carrying it since episode 5, and I want to document something I noticed last night that I hadn't noticed before. The slip of paper in the desk drawer, the one underneath the floor plan map, had a sequence of characters on it. I noted it briefly in recording 7, but didn't transcribe it fully. Last night I copied it. It reads 7R23F9T. 7 characters, alternating numbers and letters with dashes between them. No other text on the paper, no context for what the sequence means. I held the device next to this slip of paper and the blink interval changed. Not dramatically. It went from approximately 2 seconds, which is the rate in that room at ground level, to approximately 1.8 seconds. A small change. But it was consistent every time I held the device near the paper, and it returned to 2 seconds when I moved the device away. The device responds to the paper with the sequence on it. I don't know if that means the sequence is a coordinate the device can locate, or if there's something encoded on the paper I can't detect visually, or if I'm misreading a coincidental variation in the blink rate. What I'm documenting. The device and the sequence appear to be related. The gramophone. I found it last night in the chamber at the end of the narrow passageway, the room beyond the typewriter room, which I accessed through a second door at the back of the hidden space. I hadn't gone through that door before. Last night I did. The chamber beyond is larger than the typewriter room. Rough stone walls, lower ceiling, colder by several degrees. The gramophone is on a low table against the far wall, a period instrument, horn intact, wide and facing upward, turntable in place, a record already loaded and centered on the spindle. The record is dark shellac, no visible label. I was examining the bookshelves on the left wall when the needle lowered on its own. I heard it before I saw it. A soft mechanical click as the tone arm released, then a light scratching as the needle found the groove. I turned around. The turntable was rotating. Nothing had touched it. The mechanism had engaged without intervention. I didn't approach immediately. I stood across the room and listened first. The voice on the record is degraded, the same kind of surface distortion as the cassette from the archive materials, hiss and crackle underneath every word. But the phrases came through clearly. The same phrases I've been carrying since the beginning of this. Preserve, in shadows. A pause of several seconds, the needle tracking empty groove. Then, find, path. I crossed the room slowly and stood in front of the gramophone. The record continued. The phrases repeated in the same pattern. Preserve in shadows, find path, preserve in shadows, find path, for approximately 3 minutes. I watched the turntable rotating and listened and didn't move. In the final minute, the voice changed. The rhythm shifted from the repeated fragments to something more continuous, more direct, less like a recorded instruction and more like someone speaking specifically into a microphone with a specific listener in mind. I've been trying to reconstruct the exact wording since last night. As close as I can get, the record is already written. You are already in it. What you are looking for is not ahead. It is the reason you came here in the first place. Then the record ended. The needle lifted on its own the same way it had lowered. A soft click, the tone arm returning to its rest position. The turntable slowed and stopped. I stood there for a moment after it finished. The chamber was quiet except for the sound of the building and my own breathing. Then I went to the bookshelf, the leather-bound journal. On the bookshelf in the chamber, third shelf from the top, I found a journal. Dark green cover, gold lettering on the spine that has mostly worn away. I can make out two letters, C and H, in that order, and nothing else. Inside the front cover, in neat handwriting, Project Chronos, initial observations and methodology. I didn't read further than that last night. The gramophone had unsettled me, and I was aware I'd been in the building for over 2 hours, and the device interval was climbing back toward baseline, which I've started interpreting as a signal that whatever I'm tracking has moved or diminished. I took the journal. It's here on the table in front of me now. I haven't opened it past the front cover yet. I'm going to do that after this recording ends, while everything from last night is still precise in my memory, and I can compare what I read against what I've documented. The 1923 photograph is next to the journal. The photograph in which I am wearing this jacket, standing outside a building in a year before I was born. I'm reaching for the journal now, and someone just unlocked the front door from outside.